How do children learn? Learning is quite a complex process, but I would like to introduce to you the 7 areas that we teachers have to pay attention to holistically understand how children learn in our classroom. First, children learn with and through their body. And when we talk about body, it's fundamentally about the brain, sensory, and memory. And the body is unique to each individual. It has its own capacity, potential, and limitation. Not only that, along the way in the learning process, children have to be aware of the capacity, potential, and limitation of their brain, sensory, and memory. Second, children learn with and through emotion. Children carry with them different kinds of emotions every time they engage in learning. Emotion can be happiness, the joy, the frustration, the excitement, the sadness, and all of these emotions play an important role in learning. So teachers will have to pay attention to that. And not only that, children also have to be aware that a certain kind of emotion are impacting the way they learn. Third, children learn with and through cognitive processes. Cognitive processes is quite complex. It's very much related to the first one, which is the body, the brain, sensory, and memory. So what do I mean about that? There are certain cognitive processes that fit a certain child, and there are certain cognitive processes that do not fit a certain child. So we have to be aware of this dynamic in terms of cognition. And not only that, children have to be aware what kind of cognitive process would work for them and what kind of cognitive processes will never ever work for them. Fourth, children learn through and with social connection or social relationship. Learning in the first place is not only a cognitive process, but it is a relationship. It is being able to engage with other people. So children have to be aware that learning is not only an individual thing, not only individual process, but a social interaction. That I will be able to say as a child that I am learning not only because of myself, I am learning because of other people. Fifth, children learn through and with creative communication processes. It's very much still related to the first one, the body, the brain, sensory, and memory. At a certain extent, children will be able or should be able to figure out what kind of communication fits the capacity, potential, and limitation of his or her brain and sensory and memory. It could be about writing, about reading, about expressing creatively through drama or through music. So children have to be aware what kind of communication fits my brain, sensory, and memory. Sixth, children learn through and with the space or the environment. So still very much related to the brain, sensory, and memory. Our children would always find a way to fit into a certain space. There are some children who become very, very imaginative when they're outside the classroom. There are also some children whose brain are more into a more organized space like the classroom. So we teachers have to be aware on what kind of space that fits some children. And on the other hand, also the children have to be aware that I learn more when I'm in this kind of space and I learn less in this kind of space. Seventh, children learn with and through their beliefs. Even before we meet the children in the classroom, they already bring with them, they already have with them certain belief systems. Belief systems coming from certain cultural values, religion, community values, or family values. And whether we like it or not, these specific beliefs influence how they look at life, how they look at themselves, which one way or another can be influencing or impacting their learning engagement in the classroom. So we have to be aware about that as a teacher. But not only that, Children have to be aware also how specific beliefs can be influencing their learning engagement in the classroom. As a conclusion, we teachers, whenever we plan our lesson, we have to emphasize and we have to consider these different aspects on how children learn. Curriculum is fundamentally a tool to understand the capacity, potential, and limitation of children. It is not the end in itself. It is only